All right, everybody, get those nachos ready because we are diving into Super Bowl 59.
The Super Bowl matchup everyone's buzzing about.
The Dallas Cowboys versus the Oklahoma City Wranglers.
Yeah.
And this isn't just any Super Bowl. You've got a Cowboys team
Right.
looking to reclaim their glory days against the Wranglers who, well, no one even expected to be here.
Nobody.
We're going to unpack the key storylines, the surprising stats you may have glossed over, and really get you prepped for every twist and turn Super Bowl 59 is going to throw at us.
What makes this matchup so captivating is the stark contrast in their journeys. The Cowboys have been a powerhouse all season long, dominating their opponents with almost effortless precision.
It's true.
The Wranglers, on the other hand, have been the epitome of resilience, scraping by, battling through every round of the playoffs, defying all expectations.
Yeah, let's start with those Cowboys because, as you noted, their offense has been flat-out terrifying this year. We're talking league-leading numbers across the board, but you wanted to go deeper than just the stats, right?
Absolutely.
What makes this Cowboys offense tick? What keeps defensive coordinators up at night?
It's their versatility.
Okay.
Think about it. You've got Dak Prescott at the helm, having a career year, throwing for a mind-boggling 50 touchdowns this season. For those keeping score at home, that's almost breaking Peyton Manning's record.
Unreal.
And only 9 interceptions. So he's not just putting up gaudy numbers, he's doing it efficiently.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Defenses can't just focus on shutting him down.
Right.
Because if they do, they've got Ezekiel Elliott to contend with.
And remember, everyone thought Elliott was past his prime.
Right.
It wasn't even on most fantasy rosters at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But he's had an incredible resurgence, racking up the 9th most rushing yards in the league.
Unbelievable.
So do you try to contain Prescott, or do you stack the box against Elliott?
Good luck with that.
I know, good luck.
And it's not just those two. The Cowboys have a receiving core that is firing on all cylinders. You've got CeeDee Lamb, your reliable playmaker, consistently pulling in big gains, but then you've got the emergence of Jamal Agnew.
This is the guy I want to talk about because this is a breakout year if I've ever seen one. I mean, last year he was fighting for a roster spot. This year, 1,164 yards, 14 touchdowns. Just incredible.
Yeah, talk about exceeding expectations.
It's like the Cowboys' offense is playing chess and every other team is stuck playing checkers. Cook's over 900 yards, and then you've got Ferguson, 844 yards, 9 touchdowns. I mean, come on.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
It really is. So you've got this multifaceted, unpredictable offense with weapons at every position. It's no wonder they average nearly 30 points a game.
They're a nightmare to game plan against. And I think that's what makes them so dangerous. They can adapt. They can exploit any weakness you show them. And that's testament to the strategic depth of this Cowboys team.
Now, on the flip side, we have the Oklahoma City Wranglers,
Right.
a team that's practically authored a masterclass in proving doubters wrong. And I think a lot of people, myself included, thought, okay, fun run, but it ends here.
Right.
But you saw something different, didn't you? In your notes, you marked their defensive stand against the Ravens as the turning point in their season.
Yeah, what was fascinating about that game, and really the Wranglers' entire playoff run, was their ability to adapt their defensive strategy to completely neutralize their opponent's strengths. Take that Ravens game, for example. Everyone knows Baltimore lives and dies by the run game.
For sure.
Lamar Jackson is electrical. Derrick Henry is a force of nature, and they can run over just about any defense in the league.
And yet they held Henry to a measly 23 yards, which is practically unheard of.
Right.
It was like they flipped a switch and became this impenetrable wall.
Yeah.
What did they do differently?
They recognized that forcing Lamar Jackson to throw the ball, especially under pressure, played to their advantage.
Okay.
So they stacked the box, shut down the run, and dared the Ravens to beat them through the air. And to be honest, for a while there, it looked like it might actually work for Baltimore.
Really?
The Ravens were moving the ball, and the Wranglers were racking up penalties left and right.
Yeah, those penalties. It was agonizing to watch at times. It felt like every time the Wranglers got a big stop, a flag would fly. They were their own worst enemy at certain points in that game.
Right.
But even with all the mistakes, they never seemed to lose their composure.
Right. They never panicked.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to their coach and the culture they've built there. They trust each other. They believe in their system. And even when things get chaotic, they stick to the game plan.
And talk about a game-changing play. That forced fumble by Amir Span on Lamar Jackson.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's the stuff of legend.
Span has been a revelation for this Wranglers defense. He's got this uncanny knack for being in the right place at the right time. But more than that, he's become a leader on that defense, the guy everyone looks to when the pressure is on. Now, we can't talk about the Wranglers offense without mentioning this sort of like veteran presence on the field. And this is where it gets really interesting, especially when you look at the season as a whole.
You're talking about Anthony Steele.
Yes.
Mr. 65-year-old wide receiver.
Yes. Defying all odds and putting up numbers like he's in his prime.
Like he's Benjamin Button out there.
I mean, talk about defying expectations.
It's incredible. And the articles we have, they delve into his story, his work ethic, his dedication to the game. I mean, he's an inspiration not just to his teammates, but to anyone who thinks that age is a limit.
Absolutely. And his impact on the team goes beyond just the stats.
Oh, for sure.
And the stats are impressive in and of themselves.
Right.
But he brings a level of experience and leadership that is invaluable, especially for a relatively young team like the Wranglers.
I mean, Steele's presence on the field alone makes them a fascinating team to watch.
Yeah.
But then you add the fact that he's not just there for like the sentimental reasons or whatever this guy can play.
Oh, yeah.
He's a reliable target for Flannery. He's a mentor to the younger receivers, and he's a constant reminder that age really is just a number.
It's truly the stuff of legends, and it's like, when you look at the season stats, it's even wilder. Get this, the Wranglers have 3 receivers, Edmund Jr., Kingston, and Steele, all with over 900 receiving yards this season.
And that right there, having 3 receivers surpass that 900-yard mark, that's a testament to Flannery's ability to distribute the ball and trust his receivers.
Yeah.
It's not just one star player carrying the load.
Right.
It's a balanced attack, and that's what makes this Wranglers offense so difficult to defend.
Yeah.
Because they can beat you in so many different ways.
It's a pick-your-poison situation for opposing defenses, right?
Exact. Yeah.
Do you focus on shutting down the run game knowing you might get burned by one of these receivers?
Right.
Or do you try to limit the passing game and potentially give Naik more room to run?
For sure.
But they're facing their biggest challenge yet, the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
And this isn't just any Cowboys team. This is a Cowboys team led by the reigning MVP, Dak Prescott.
The Cowboys are a formidable opponent. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
Prescott is playing at an elite level
For sure.
in their offensive line.
Oh, my God.
It's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
Giving Prescott all the time in the world to find his targets.
And that's what I was just about to say, is their offensive line. And specifically, I want to talk about their left tackle, Zach Martin.
Okay.
This guy just won Best NFC Offensive Lineman.
Rightfully so.
For good reason.
Yeah.
He is an absolute beast in the trenches.
Zach Martin is the anchor of that Cowboys offensive line. I mean, if I were the Wranglers defensive coordinator, I'd be looking at ways to try and get creative with my blitzes, maybe disguising them, trying to create confusion on the offensive line.
Yeah.
But even then, there's no guarantee.
Right.
Because Martin is that good.
But the Wranglers have their own secret weapon in the trenches.
Oh, they do, don't they? You're talking about Hayden Payne?
Hayden Payne, yes.
Who just won Best Offensive Lineman in the AFC?
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
So we have a battle of the Titans on our hands.
We do.
Payne versus Martin. 2 of the best offensive linemen in the league going head-to-head.
Yeah.
I mean, does that not get you fired up?
That gets me so hyped because this is what football is all about, these individual matchups within the larger game.
Yes.
It's a chess match. And in this case, we have 2 grandmasters going at it.
And, you know, the outcome of this battle in the trenches could very well determine the outcome of the Super Bowl.
The Wranglers secondary has their work cut out for them, but they've got some playmakers of their own.
Oh, for sure.
We've talked about Spann and his knack for forcing those turnovers. And let's not forget about Salt McMahon.
Right.
He's been a shutdown corner for them all season.
And McMahon had that incredible game against the Ravens, 6 tackles, 2 pass deflections. The articles were saying that he was everywhere.
He was all over the place.
It seems like the Wranglers secondary is often overlooked, but they've consistently shut down some big-name receivers this season.
Yeah, and they just have a knack for making the big play when it matters most. Let's not forget, we have 3 players in their secondary, Kyrie Cashout, Amir Shaheed Spann, and Salt McMahon, who ranked in the top 3 spots for Defensive Back of the Year.
Wow.
That is unheard of.
That's crazy.
So while the Cowboys offense might get all the headlines,
Right.
they're going to have their hands full with this Wranglers secondary.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is shaping up to be a classic offense versus defense showdown in the Super Bowl. So you've given us so much to think about, the individual matchups, the coaching strategies, those incredible season stats. But if you had to pick one thing for our listener to keep their eye on something maybe not getting enough attention, what would it be?
You know, everyone's talking about the star players
Right.
and the offensive fireworks that we might see in this game.
Yeah.
But I honestly think it comes down to something a lot simpler.
Okay.
Turnovers.
Turnovers.
Turnovers, because both of these teams have shown this uncanny ability to create turnovers this season.
Right.
The Wranglers in particular, they have a nose for the ball on defense.
Yeah.
If they can force Dak Prescott into a couple mistakes,
Uh-huh.
those could be the difference maker in this game.
It's so often the little things,
Right.
the less glamorous aspects of the game that end up having the biggest impact.
Exactly. And on the flip side, the Cowboys defense, they can't afford to underestimate this Wranglers offense.
No.
Yeah, they might not have the most recognizable names,
Right.
but they have proven time and time again that they can move the ball and they can put points on the board. The Cowboys, they're trying to recapture that 90s magic, you know. And then you have the Wranglers, a team that's just writing the first chapter in their story.
And what a first chapter it's been.
Absolutely. So I guess the question is, does the pressure get to this young Wranglers team, or do they thrive in that underdog role?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this Super Bowl has all the makings of an instant classic.
I completely agree. We'll be back next week to break it all down, but until then, thanks for listening.
See you next time.